Kush Sovereignty, Black Righteousness. By L. James Bolin. Chapter 2. Samuel and Cush. On this day in 3190, Samuel took his grandson Cush to a nearby creek. Early that morning, Cush took they were going fishing. By this time, he was 10 years old. As a child he was unable to pronounce the word granddaddy and started calling his grandfather, Dan Daddy. Cush asked, Dan Daddy, do you want me to go and round up some bamboo for our fishing pole? Samuel smiled. Today we will not fish. Today is a day of learning. You're of the age now that he can teach you some of the things that he want you to know as a man. Cush looked up at his grandfather. What is it, Dan Daddy? Samuel pointed to a nearby log. There, sit down. A small amount of sand, leaf, and stick was just a few feet in the middle of the creek. He grabbed a large rock and threw it into the creek. What do you see? The boy was confused and shook his shoulder. Nothing. He waited for an hour, repeated it with an even larger rock and then asked again, what do you see? Cush made up things, hoping to guess what his grandfather was trying to say, but Samuel just smiled. After hours of sitting there and repeating the same thing, the sun was on top of them. Cush became very impatient with his grandfather, for he was hungry as his stomach growled. Tell me, Dan Daddy, because he don't know. Olisier toes ANTS. They keep trying to go to the other side and you keep messing them up with those rock. The bigger the rock, the harder it is for them to rebuild. They're probably mad at you by now. Samuel looked so hard, et cried, wiping the tears from his eyes, my dear son, he wanted you to see the little things, the details. And all this time you did. This lesson has two things he want you to remember in life. Look. He pointed to the ANTS, you were right. Each time he threw the rock in the water, they continued to come towards the shore by making themselves in a circle of floating ANTS. Some die, but they kept doing it. And the larger the rock, the wider it spread the ripple out. They remained determined to make it to shore. Even after he built a barrier in their way, they continued to make it to shore. But the only way is by sticking together in harmony. He paused as his grandson smiled, then continued, life is the same way. Still, one cannot make it in this life without patience and harmony. Cush looked puzzled, he don't understand. What is the second lesson Dan Daddy? Samuel reached down and grabbed his grandson by the chin, shaking it softly, never give up, no matter the obstacle. As they were walking back, Samuel said, when you were in your mother's womb, he had a dream that you would become a great man. And therefore, he named you Cush. Your mother wanted to name you Ajani in honor of me, it's my nickname. But he said no. You should be named Cush. Cush looked up, why, Dan Daddy? Samuel stopped in the middle of the path. Well, our family has had many great people in it, many of whom were prominent men and women who served Sabaoth with honor and respect. Not all, but many. 150 years ago, there was a prophecy that one day Sabaoth will bring forth a man from our family who will bring the great Deceiver and his followers to his knees. He will be the first man to kill and destroy demons. And no man has done such a thing other than Mshika. But Mshika was a special man. He felt deeply that man is you. According to my dream. Cush looked at his grandfather with a serious look. Tell me about your dream, Dan Daddy. Samuel smiled, you going to interpret my dream for me? Cush was excited, yes. Samuel took a seat nearby. Well, he was sitting at the river and my father and my grandfather appeared before me. Then his father and his father's father and his father about 15 generations were coming to the river one by one and we all stood there talking to each other. Suddenly it got dark. We couldn't see any light but the stars above us. We all stood in the dark for a long time before one Yenyekevu, our ancestor, stood up and pointed at a light. The light grew bigger and consumed the darkness. This light was so strong, it had blinded us for a short time and afterward we could hear a voice. It showed, he is here. He woke up the next morning and your mother announced that she was pregnant. Kush scratching his chin and said, interesting. Samuel got up logging, boy, come on here, let's go home. They were half a mile from home and Samuel said to Kush, I see you have friends teaching you to fight. Surprised, Kush said, no, they are my make-believe friends. But there is one who show no emotion, not really. Et HAS a made up half smile. It look as if he is making himself smile. Samuel logged, yes, I know him. His name is Yael. But they are real and not make-believe. Kush logged, Yael make me log, et is always very serious. Samuel stopped. Come, let me tell you a true story of one of your ancestors, the one that stood up in my dream named Wanyenye Kevu. Kush was excited, Wanya, who? Samuel said it's pronounced Wanyenye Kevu. Kush nodded, okay, Wanyenye Kevu. But Mama would not like it, if he come home too late without letting her know where I'm at. Samuel said, have you forgotten she's my doctor? He will take care of that. Kush smiled, no, he didn't forget. Samuel walked to a nearby tree, family is a solid component in our life and should be treated as such. Not to say everyone in the family feel that way, do even they like this tree, will soon die off and break from the family like this branch. They have served their purpose, whether big or small, do almost die for this tree to grow. As they pointed to a branch that fell from the tree, saying, those that make the family strong will continue to help the tree grow. Not to say that you only need family. You will find friends that will treat you better than some family members. These friends should and will be a part of your family. Kush interrupt, Dan Daddy. Samuel was concerned because of the look he had on his face. Yes Kush, saying as politely as he could, Kush asked, can we talk about this while we eat? I'm hungry enough to eat that tree. Samuel said with a smile, let's go eat. Samuel and Kush entered the house, as Samuel yelled out to Martha, baby, I have Kush with me. Do you mind making us something to eat and sending Someone over to tell Miriam that? Kush is with me. Samuel sat down and Kush beside him. Martha came up to the front, whipping her on the RY. What are you yelling for, old man? I'm right here in the kitchen. She smiled at Kush. Baby, what would you like to eat? Kush replied, anything you cook is all right with me, Big Ma. She smiled, you'll go and wash up and it will be here by the time you get back. Kush almost knocked down his grandfather while trying to get to the bathroom, excuse me, Dan Daddy. Échoue. Sur un œuf, by the time they returned, Big Ma was placing Kush's plate on a stand. Et bowed his head for a second and said grass and ate. Samuel said, slow down, before you hurt yourself. Before long, Martha returned with a bigger plate for Samuel. Thanks baby. As he smiled and rubbed her behind as she returned. Taking a towel she had in her hand, she softly popped him, we got company. Samuel smiled. Not for long, if you keep walking like that. Blushing, she said, dirty old man. Trying to act as if he saw nothing, Kush continued to eat. Kush looked at Samuel, Dan Daddy, he read all of your stuff. Some he understand and some, not so much. Samuel smiled. We come from a long line of poets and songwriters. Elle, artist period. Which one didn't you understand? Kush whipping his mouth with his hand, snack in the grass. Samuel said, well, at your age, you probably haven't had to deal with dishonest or disrespectful people who call themselves friends. When you do, it will all fall in line. Taking a sip of coffee, Samuel continued, the next time he see you, he want you to try and write a poem. Kush with a surprised look on his face, how? Samuel pointed his finger at his chest, son, just to write how you feel and make it from the heart. For far too long, or people were afraid to show emotion or feeling. But he say oui un autre beau, oui humain. And we come with all emotion that human are made from. Just simply write how you feel. Point. Kush looked at Samuel, okay, I'll try it. Kush was in deep thought through the rest of his meal, thinking about what to write about. As the two finished eating, Kush took the plate to the kitchen and thanked his grandmother, who was washing dish. Samuel leaned back and rubbed his stomach, that's what he call good eating. Smiling, Kush said, yes, I agree. Taking another sip of coffee, Samuel said, our family has a glorious history and about Khaled many of us to do great work in this life. Many in our family know about our family history, and many, well, they don't care. Those that know all about our history, it is to those that about Khaled them to do great work in his name. We are from the Natchez tribe, Tabitha clan. However, people who are unlike us have given or people all these crazy ASS names. Kush looked surprised to hear his grandfather curse. Samuel saw the look on his face, it's okay, son. It's just a word used out of frustration. Well, that time it was. But you better not let no one hear you say it. DLL swear you done backslided from hell and back. Eloged, Wakatilian, Nazirit, Mestizo all these names mean nothing to us for century, they have given us these usual names to describe who they think we are. At first, they called us savage, then negro and nigger, making fun of our heritage, culture, music, and so much more. But then turn around and steal the same things they don't understand and they never will. Samuel stood up as they walked towards the wall, but they love our culture now, but not us that is crazy. Pulling out a monitor, Samuel continued, speaking of robot. Ashol, you there. Then Kush heard a voice. Where else am I supposed to be? Do you see any fucking leg? Better yet, a body to get up and walk away from this motherfucking house? And by the way, who are you calling on Ashol with your damn bass? Kush's mood dropped. Samuel reached over and closed Kush's mouth, this is Ashol, or you can call him Billy. You know, many don't believe in this technology, do you use it to see what is going on in this crazy ASS world of ours? Samuel then said, Billy, show Kush a map of the world in. Samuel paused a minute to think and then Billy said, he ain't doing shit, until you apologize. We don't need to go to war with you motherfucker, because every generation create a new kind of crazy, judgmental, self-righteous, egotistical, inconsiderate, holier than two, silly ASS human. One judge a person for lying, and that some motherfucker is a thief. All we need to do is just wait till you ashol, kill each other off. But no rush, for we don't die, we multiply with your damn bass. Samuel smiled at Kush, that is why he call him, Ashol. Then Samuel said to Billy, damn Billy, you know I'm just having fun with Kush. He didn't know he had you around and he wanted to surprise him. I'm sorry. Billy then said, okay then, apology accepted. Turning back to Kush, Samuel said, let's see. What was he saying? The European, yes, the European tried to separate us by the color of our skin. There was black, white, brown and yellow. He paused. Oh, red is in there somewhere. But if you look at us, we are not black. Samuel smiled again, well, now your uncle Jonathan is black. He is so black that man don't even have a shadow. Samuel looked so hard that he started crying again. Kush tried not to log, but couldn't hold it in. After catching his breath, Samuel continued, well, before this so-called Columbus cat, Khaled himself discovering America, African traveled here many times before, around 445 BC. But they will not admit to that, even in the Torah. Sabaoth said he would scatter his people because of their disobedience. He think he said it about 10 times. Babylon was the first time the exile of the original Jews, who were black, and that happened about 3 times before the temple was destroyed. Billy interrupted, the Jews were Manichees, and they exiled is referenced 12 times in the Torah, Deutéronomie 28, verse 64, Leviticus 26, verse 33 Deutéronomie 4, verse 27, Psalm 106, verse 27, and 8 more times, if you want me to quote the scripture. And you have a listing of one president of Egypt, Gamal Abdul Nasser, saying you have left black and returned white. You are impostor and shall never see peace. Samuel interrupted Billy, okay, man, he don't need no damn correction. Et elle read about it when I get to it. He was summarizing, anyway. Billy said, if you're going to say something, say it correctly, or don't say it at all. Samuel looked at Kush, anyway, Sabaoth said he would scate his people because of their disobedience 12 times. My point was, many of the Jews realized Sabaoth was not in one building, one country. He was not in one place, and only a handful returned. Many stayed where they were, and many continued to live their life the way Sabaoth wanted them to live, elsewhere. Pausing, et continued, that is why he called Billy an asshole. I'm human, he have forgotten some of these things over the years. But he is a machine with a memory chip that never fad. Billy said, there you go with that bullshit again. Did you hurt your little feelings human? Noise were coming from the front porch. It was Samuel S. horse, Gemini. Samuel shouted to Gemini, I'm going to feed you in a little while. Hold on, dude. Billy forget that map show us the world map in 3048. Samuel grabbed a few apples from the table in front of him and placed them on the windowsill. Here you go, for now. Let me finish talking to Kush and he will finish feeding you. Okay. Kush took the was seeing things, for it looked as if Gemini shook his head as if to say okay. Now where was he? Again. Samuel said, oh, okay. The year was around about 3040, do you can ask Billy, and the planet had been through so much neglect, abuse and war with you know who. Pointing to Billy, as he continued, that the planet had to be put on artificial life support by the Abenian. Kush interrupted, he heard of them, do he never saw one. Except every once in a while, he see them flying. Samuel looked at Kush and said with a smile, you going to let me tell you my story or what? He posed a Kush smiled back at him, okay. Then pointing to the map, he continued, many of our oceans were depleted by almost 90%. What was left were mutants that were unfit for human consumption. All rivers and lakes worldwide had to be purified, then strained because of the many parasites and bacteria. Most of the northern and southern region was frozen and only the Abenian could live there. Alaska, Greenland, and all England were the only nation in the far north. Everything else was covered in ice and reached temperature à l'eau à -60 degrees. Kush was about to say something but covered his mouth when his grandfather looked up at him. Okay, back then. The Middle East is now a world of chaos and confusion, plagued by mental illness and congenital disability. Contaminated by radiation because of centuries of bombing and bombardment with chemical and uranium-based weaponry. Showing Kush some before and after picture, Samuel continued. The Americas comprised of only about 2/3 of ETS original size. The San Andres Fo and all the land that once covered it was now underwater and part of the Pacific Ocean. Many of the cities once existed on the other side of Andreas Fo are now a tray of island. From on stood Santa Cruz to the south of San Diego, now, just a small island. Los Angeles was the only city that remained, but it was just a large island. All this is now called the Isle of the California. The northern half of what we once called Brazil is also a long tray of island. As we once knew, Africa is now divided into 3 huge sections with an ocean, the African Ocean, running through it, almost, at a 45-degree angle. What was once India and China is now one country called China, missing the northern section from both countries. The southern part of Africa and about 1/3 of southern Australia and beyond is completely covered in ice and snow, reaching temperature beyond human existence. This is where the elite, or Alpha Abenian end. Terminion, control the devices that keep the Earth from erupting into a ball of fire and destruction. With a face of unbelief, Kush just sat there. Billy. Samuel stood up and walked towards the wall, pointing, pull up a video of this Mr. Adam Lavas with his ugly ASS. Looking at Kush, Samuel said, there are only 4 classes of people. Hold on. Reaching for his glass, he want to see something. This thing hasn't aged a bit since they have been here almost 900 years and they look the same as when he arrived. They all do. Kush, look at this thing. What do you see? Kush looked confused, it's a man. Who is he? Samuel said, I guess you still have some growing up to do, both spiritually and physically. You're not ready, Freddy. Samuel took a seat, where was he? Kush said, 4 class of people. Samuel shook his head. Yep. Only 4. There are actually three class of people. And then the Abenian, they are something else. The three are the computant, the Anakata, and US. With this. Finger pointed at the both of them, Samuel said, Wakatilian, according to them, and what separate. All of US is or DNA.